What's some juicy gossip you just found out in your personal lives? My barber got 2 different girls pregnant. Neither of whom are his girlfriend. Prices have went up a little bit, but the phone calls I overhear are worth it lol. Edit. Wow, thanks for the gold and silver, kind strangers. I feel like I finally made it in life now. Some girl in our year at school posted on Facebook the other day how her boyfriend had supposedly cheated on her. They had a full-blown argument in the comments just on Facebook for everyone to see. Yesterday she posted a picture of some keys tagging her boyfriend in it saying just bought our first house together. We got a new boss like a year ago at work and we've been hating it. People are getting written up for petty shit and suspended and losing their bonuses. I'm a good employee. But this stuff finally caught up to me too, and I got written up for getting injured at work. Long story. I don't play. So where it said employee comments on the write-up, I said see attached and typed out a 3-page defense talking about how I thought it was unfair and how I thought people had been getting treated unfairly for a year now. The next day I got called into a meeting by my boss. And his boss. And his boss and an hour rep so they could grill me about it. By the end of the meeting we had all figured out that it was actually the HR rep who had been screwing with people for a year now. And the anger shifted completely away from me and onto her. I went around and told everybody about it. We're going to make this itch pay. My uncle told my parents that he needed money because he borrowed from the Chinese mafia and they were threatening to kill him and his family or something. My parents sent him some money and then 2 weeks later he posted a pic with a new car. Edit. My uncle said the money he borrowed was to pay off his house. Edit 2. He did not actually borrow from the Chinese mafia. He didn't even get a new house. More clarification. We are Chinese Malaysian. Most of our family lives in Malaysia while we live in the US. People used to ask us for money BC. My parents started a good business here. I just found out that one of my work colleagues who just returned from a 2-week expensive holiday with his wife in Iceland has just found out his wife has run up about £50,000 debt on numerous credit cards. Oof. That's a large amount. What did she spend it on? For a start, she paid for her son's, from a previous marriage, university fees without telling him. One of the girls in our group of friends has never really gotten over her ex that left her 3 years ago. She will often bring him up when drunk and it has really hampered her dating life. He lives thousands of miles away. And today he posted a picture of him sitting with an attractive dude getting coffee. They are holding hands and their legs are touching. We were all sitting around the TV hanging out when she saw the picture. Shell shock is the best description for her face. I was told that my great-grandfather kept the family farm in business by blatant and repeated acts of insurance fraud. Hugh. I thought you were going to find a hidden slave shack at first. Nah. My great-grandfather was Canadian. Edit. I know quite a bit about the gross side of Canadian history. I was being facetious. I know a guy who got his friend to marry him so he can get a green card. Except his friend was already in a relationship. Not only did my friend get married, he also inherited a boyfriend-in-law. Now the 3 of them live in the same house. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I separated in August 2018. She decided to end the marriage because she concluded that I would never trust her after she had an affair for more than half of our 15-year marriage. We tried to reconcile for 2 years. During which time she repeatedly told me that she had changed and that she'd never lie to me again. But I kept catching her in lie after lie. Now she is seriously dating a guy since at least December. And she's cheating on him with another guy. Remember folks, she has changed. Gotta remember, if they cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. My cousin has been together with his wife for 14 years and has had a girlfriend for just as long. Neither of them knew about the other. He got caught because of an image on Facebook. His wife's sister posted a family picture which my cousin was in and got recognized by his girlfriend's sister's acquaintance. He got away with that for 14 years. My dad got away with it for 15 years, but technically my mom knew. She was the mistress. The wife didn't. My neighbor's cousin broke into her house and stole 37 gum. Also, I learned my neighbor owned at least 37 gum. 37? In a row? My co-worker makes $10 an hour, works part-time and pays for her live-in. Still married. Boyfriend's rent and child support cause he's broke. She just found his bank receipt showing $17K in his checking account. Was this at least a wake-up call for her? No. An ex-friend of mine from high school is now in the middle of the second divorce. Apparently it's because she cheated on her second husband with her now current boyfriend. This is the second time she's cheated on her husband, and I'm curious if she'll marry the current boyfriend and then cheat on him. I hope she cheats on him with her first husband and then marries him again and then cheats on him with number 2, and then her and all the guys realize that the 4 of them belong together. I'm reasonably sure once she gets to her 6th or 7th husband, the others will form a support group. The good news is the husbands don't seem to have to pay alimony very long. Commenting from my other account. A couple that we have been friends with for a few years now. Both very normal people with vanilla jobs. Took a trip overseas that was supposed to last a week. Not unusual for any of our group of friends. No one had heard from them for close to a month until we found out they'd been arrested on the other side of the duck NG earth trying to smuggle out close to $1 duck NG million for an international drug cartel out of the country they were visiting. When we heard the news, we were just sitting there quietly in disbelief for about 5 minutes. Duck. What's going to happen to them? Trial for the woman is on the 6th. Don't know if the guys will be tried on the same day. They're looking at 1-3 years in prison as far as we know. A year ago, my family member, 26, discovered that his fiancée, 29, of 7 years, who he has 2 children with, had been having an affair with his younger brother, who just turned 18. His brother was living in his house rent-free at the time as well. So his fiancée left him for his brother and had a fling with him for a couple months. The younger brother is basically homeless now, jumping from friend to crash at their houses, while working at a job that he makes minimum wage at, $7.25. While she is still living under her ex-fiancé's roof. She then decided she wanted to work things out with her ex-fiancé, so they got back together and decided to reconcile the relationship, which left the younger brother furious. Shortly after that, she finds out she is pregnant but does not know which brother is the father. Her fiancé said he would raise the baby as his own even if it was not his. So she decides to keep the baby. This makes the younger brother more furious because she aborted the child before this baby that she knew was the younger brother's. So the younger brother verbally attacks her for aborting that child and keeping this one because there is a chance it is her fiancé's. She is unemployed during this time, so her fiancé is paying for all of the expenses. 9 months later, still unemployed, she has the baby and it ends up being the younger brother's child, and they all try to do co-parenting. The baby is 3 months old now, and my family member's fiancé left him for his younger brother again. Edit. Thanks for the silver and gold. Edit. I edited the fiancé and fiancée errors I had in the initial post and added spaces to break up the whole post. Thank you. Teacher is having an affair with a married security guard. They're not very careful about the flirting though, because most of the 6th graders have figured it out. Can't wait to see what happens. Edit. This is in Massachusetts for all those wondering. Sound like a very common situation. Edit number 2. I am a teacher, not a 6th grader. Edit number 3. Wow. First silver. Thank you, kind stranger. This woman I know is dating a very shady guy. She's nearly 40 and desperate, so she overlooks a lot of the red flags. All her friends think he's an asshole. He claims he disappears every now and then because, get this, he works for WikiLeaks. He is married to someone. He claims that they got married only for visa purposes and they only ducked like a few times. He has citizenship now, but they aren't divorced because of some paperwork stuff involving, you guessed it, WikiLeaks. He vacillates between having her attend his family events and declaring that he doesn't believe in marriage and kids. Though, of course, he's married already. He recently suggested they be in an open relationship. She has always wanted marriage and kids. So it surprised me she got on board this relatively easily. I suspect it's because she wants to hold on to him. One of my sister's friends from her sorority had a mental breakdown on her two roommates. Of all the crazy shit I overheard, the best part was when she got in her car and proceeded to ram into the back of one of the other friend's car. Over and over. For almost 2 hours. Like. They got security camera footage of her ramming the car, backing up, and doing it again for 2 whole ng hours. Amazing. I wonder what songs she was playing during those 2 hours. Move it, get out the way. Friend is getting married next weekend. They've been together a few years and have a 2-year-old son. At his bachelor party, we were all poking fun at him on whether or not he was ready. Sheet-aced or sober, he is 100% committed to them. Another friend of mine is close friends with the bride who is apparently questioning everything about their relationship, and has repeatedly stated that he's not the type of guy she ever imagined seeing herself with. This is going to end well. Just found out that my brother, who divorced his ex-wife a year ago, got married to a new woman in secret. I mean secret as in that he hasn't told his own kids about it, 10 and 12 years old. He hasn't told us either, rest of the family. My mother just accidentally said it to all of us. So now we know, but are to pretend we don't know. None of us have met his new wife that we don't know is his wife but still know is his wife. Does your mother know why he would want to keep his marriage a secret? Full stop. My 2 friends just found out they have the same sugar daddy. They had both been under the impression that they were exclusive with him. Man. To be rich enough to sugar daddy 4 girls at once. Truly the American dream. I'd like to be rich enough to sugar daddy myself. I have a co-worker I'll call Jess, who always talks about her kids in detail and asks for favors because of her kids, i.e. picking up shifts, asking for rides, etc. One of our other co-workers' son goes to the same bar as said girl. She doesn't know who he is, and one night was spilling her guts about how she always takes advantage of her co-workers and that she doesn't even have kids. She doesn't know that we know. Edit. Thank you so much for all the comments, golden suggestions. I will definitely update everyone if anything interesting develops. Apparently for years my parents have told my teachers I have a learning disability. I didn't know I had learning disability. I don't think I have a learning disability. I asked them why and they said it takes about $1,500 off the cost of my university tuition from some government grant, so I guess I have a learning disability. Update. I asked my parents more questions about this and I apparently got tested when I was young and have a legitimate learning disability diagnosis. My parents aren't committing fraud. They knew all along that I was diagnosed and I just recently found out about it. Manager is having threesomes with 2 servers. Sometimes ISSH into 2 servers at once. Recently got my ancestry DNA results back and found out I have a half sister of a different ethnicity, as a product of my father's cheating ways. A friend found a photo of my younger brother in FetLife sucking a big dick. So that's a thing. Haven't told anyone. But yeah. 1. Edit. Changed it to younger so people stop thinking he's underaged. Also he posted the photo himself. He knows it's on there. Don't you feel like you should tell your brother? I mean, if it was a friend, I would stay out of it, but he's family and he should probably know if other people he knows have seen it and recognized him. To me that's not the kind of thing that comes up later and you find out your brother sister knew all along. Our pastor was having an affair with his cousin's wife. One day while giving a sermon the cousin storms into church, tackles the pastor and starts to throw haymakers at him. The cousin's wife is trying to pull her husband off the pastor. The pastor's wife quickly figured out what was happening, ran up and clocked the wife from behind, knocking her out. People are trying to separate everyone. Total chaos. I gotta start back going to church. Apparently I'm missing all the good stuff. My Sil is pregnant. Again. by the same guy she's been in a two-way abusive relationship with for the past 6 years. Despite constantly moving in and out of his house, filing restraining orders against each other, and accusing each other of cheating every day, they planned this one. Edit. Sil is my husband's sister. Sorry for the confusion. Also, CPS has been to their house. My mother-in-law takes the baby often so she isn't in the house. Wow. That poor child. Exactly. We are hoping to have the two of them around us enough so they can see not everyone throws things. Some time ago some girl jokingly said she wants her BF to get her pregnant or else he will leave her. Guess who's unexpectedly pregnant? Best advice for these girls: 6 won't make him yours. And a baby won't make him stay. Don't forget, if your life is a train wreck, a baby won't fulfill you. We just found out a 16-year-old intern at my work is dealing drugs including heroin. College is expensive. Maybe she is saving up. Well, my dog acts like she doesn't like our new cat, but I caught them playing last night and as soon as she noticed me she runs over to me pretending she wasn't playing. Scandal. I have no life. This was the peak of my weekend. Edit. Thanks for the silver. My first silver. Who this weekend has now hit a new peak. Dart. Oh my goodness, and my first gold. Thanks everyone. This is too much excitement. I think I need a nap. Not the juiciest, but I have boring life, so. A friend of mine doesn't have the best taste in men. She's been talking to this guy that I swear is a pathological liar. She refuses to believe it. She just makes a lot of excuses for him while in the process of continually being disappointed and let down by him. Over the last month, he was supposed to come visit her at least 10 different times. He lives 3 hours away, so it's a long distance relationship. Every time he was supposed to visit, something came up. He was sick twice. Then his daughter was sick. Then he got run over. Then his mom's dog is dying. All of these are excuses on why he can't come visit. What's stuck up is it will be his idea to visit. He will constantly tell my friend he's coming. She will tell him not to worry about it. But he will insist. All for him to give some bullshit. Last minute excuse on why he can't show up. It seems to me like a lot of work to lie like that. But whatever. This recent excuse was the most dug up. This actually happened last night. The guy insisted on coming to see my friend over the weekend. She got her hopes up just for him to call her last minute and say he got into a car wreck. He told her he was at the hospital because he got hurt and his car was totaled. Or some shit. My friend believed him at first and kept trying to ask him what hospital he was at, but he wouldn't tell her. He even sent her a picture of the car. So my friend messaged another friend of hers telling her what happened. Long story short, the other friend asked my friend to send her the picture and she did some investigating and found an exact picture and article of a wreck that happened in a different state. So the guy lied about being in a wreck. When my friend confronted him about it, he started laughing his ass off and told her it was this elaborate practical joke he was playing on her. Well, she believes him. It's all a big joke and I don't know who to be more pissed off at. The guy for being such a shady character or my friend who is so damn naive. My hairdresser is leaving her husband and 5 kids to marry an Italian basketball player. I live by a married man. Him and his family are very close to this lady we'll call Jess. They go on vacations with Jess. But in all photos she is near the husband, not the wife. There have been rumors that the husband is cheating on his wife with Jess. Just rumors though. Right? Recently Jess moved across the country. We thought that was the end of it. Nope. My dad helps people so they can get mortgages and he just got a call from someone. The husband. They are moving with Jess across the country. Edit. A lot of people are questioning if it's polyamorous and I get that it's possible. But I don't know for sure. They could be leaving this conservative neighborhood because that's the situation. My ex-wife and I finalized our divorce last June. She's giving birth in a few weeks with the guy she was cheating on me with. If it was anyone else I wouldn't care as much. But since it's this guy, it hurts. Oh, and she email invited me to buy them gifts off of their baby registry. So I'm trying to think of the most petty item I could get. Though I know I shouldn't show I'd give a sheet. Buy them a paternity test. It will get a new guy's head. A guy from my small city in Scotland fled to California and tried to fake his own death. Manhunt underway. He's wanted for 24 counts of rape. One of my female friends, who looks like a slightly classier version of Courtney Stodden, confessed to me that she enjoys the thought of two hot, shirtless men fighting over her. She said she is considering goading her boyfriend into fighting some random dude who keeps slipping into her DMs. One November day, my mom took my sister and I put so we could help her pick out gifts for our kids. I asked why a cousin of ours who adored children never had any of her own. This led my mom into a deep trail of juicy family stories. The most unexpected was about my grandma. Apparently, a married man had pursued her, and they started a short affair that left her pregnant. She was the teenage daughter of devout Catholic immigrant parents, and they essentially hid her in the basement the entire 9 months and forced her to give away the baby. They also threatened the dad with a mob to get him to stay quiet and pay for medical care. My grandma lived most of her life depressed over what came of that child. My mom took an ancestry DNA test about a year ago and found the woman. She had been adopted by loving parents who have since died. She started coming to our family events, and my grandparents are more than pleased to have her in their lives. My grandpa has called her his daughter on multiple occasions. Also, both of my sisters have cheated on their husbands with guys they met at the gym. My husband is only very stressed by this trend. Editing to at, don't worry, y'all. I run for exercise, and I mainly use it for alone time, and to eat more pizza. My mom, who worked 30+ years in it, after getting laid off from her last job decided she was done and retired. Well, last week she got a job at a clothing company as a cashier, getting a lot less money than she did in it. This really isn't juicy gossip lol. Except that friends and family have been calling me and fishing for details as to why she is re-entering the workforce. Most seem to think she's in some sort of dire financial straits, and I can only imagine the chatter they have among themselves regarding it. Well, gossipy friends and family, no need to worry. My mother is in a great financial situation. She's just gotten bored during her retirement and wants a part-time job to keep her occupied, get her out of the house, and provide for some interaction with other people. The head chef at my work has worked there for 34 years and is retiring. His stepdaughter is a server there as well. New sous chef will be replacing head chef. New sous chef is sneaking into head chef's house at night to F head chef's stepdaughter. New sous chef has a live-in girlfriend of like 6 years and is daddy to her kid. Friend, who I'll call Joe, is 12 years older than his girlfriend, who I'll call Jessica. They met when she was 18 and he was dating someone else. We'll call her Mary. He cheated on Mary with Jessica. Mary went psycho. They broke up and he and the Jessica got into a relationship. The next few years, she'd sneak out of college to meet him. Her family didn't like him because he was so much older and thought he was only in it for her money. Somehow they made it for 9 years. A year ago, he said in some social media post that he was single. 2 months later, he announced his engagement with a young woman. Talking to friends with more familiarity of the situation, it turned out Jessica had to put up with a lot. Mary continued to be psycho and harassed her lot. This was because she was 34 and was planning on having kids with Joe before he cheated on her. And so she considers Jessica her life ruiner. And Joe apparently cheated on Jessica as well, triggering mental health issues in her. After a psychotic episode, they broke up. But then he wanted to settle down and have kids. So he proposed to Jessica, and she accepted. Now they are planning a big-ass wedding. I can't wait for the sheet how it's going to be. That my uncle left my auntie for the phone 6-line worker he was calling for the last 3 years. I just found out that the guy who sexually assaulted me 10 years ago in college had the crap beat out of him by some of my male friends a few days after. They never said anything to anyone at the time because they could be expelled for it. Edit: for those wondering, there were multiple witnesses to the act.